Hi, this is Make a Geek and I'm Dan. Last year I made a video about making this business card holder, and I said at the time if anyone had any questions they could just ask in the comments. And a couple of people, Joseph and Suya, did ask me some questions, and it's taken me a little while to get around to it, but this video is going to be an in-depth look at the hinge. So let's take a look. This is the hinge in close-up, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the stages of making it. So the hinge started out as two small pieces like this, and I think you can see I've kind of marked where essentially I just cut away the areas that I've marked to make pieces that would interlock, pretty much just a through mortise and tenon. And once I'd done that, I drilled a very, very small hole through all of those pieces to put a very tiny pin in. So I made the pin on the lathe. It was super, super fine. I think it was just a piece of oak. Now, obviously it's so small it's actually quite fragile, but when it's inside of the hole with a snug fit, the actual hinge wood itself is really supporting it. So even though it's quite small and fragile, it provides a strong pivot. Once I'd got the pieces interlocking, I began to shape them slightly, as you can see here. Whilst it was off of the case, I could shape them and check against them to sort of try and keep it somewhat consistent on both sides. And I think in the video you can kind of see as I'm comparing them tail to tail in order to check that I'd got a consistent shapeliness on there. And once I was happy, I just wood glued it in place. The advantage of this approach, and it was kind of born out of necessity really, was that I could mess up the hinge and try again and again before committing it to the case that had already taken a long time to make. That was actually a lesson learned from the first version, where I tried to make the hinge an integral piece and then I messed up the case and it was a pain, and yeah, it seemed like a good idea to try and separate the concerns. Well, I hope that's been helpful to take a closer look at some of those details. If you do have any more questions about this project or any other project, please ask in the comments and I will do my best to answer. Thanks for watching, see you next time.